Halfway through my wedding ceremony, my future mother-in-law grabbed the mic and told me, "Sign over your 10 condos or this ends right now." So I walked up next and made 3 announcements of my own. For months, Ethan kept calling his mom passionate. I kept calling her what she was, obsessed with control. Every dinner with her turned into an interview about money, ownership, and what's best for the family. Those condos weren't a flex. They were my grandpa's life. He worked, saved, bought rentals one by one, then put them in an ironclad trust before he died. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "People will love you, or they'll love what you have. Learn the difference." When Ethan told his mom about the trust, her smile changed. 2 days later, she pitched a family LLC. When I said no, she slid a prenup idea across the table that basically turned my inheritance into community property. When that failed, she tried the sweet act, lunch invites, compliments, then little digs when I didn't cooperate. The funniest part? When I stayed calm and said no, she told Ethan I was cold. Ethan repeated it like it was a weather report. "She just wants the family to feel secure," he said. Meanwhile, I was the only one being asked to sacrifice anything. So I started saving everything. Screenshots, forwarded texts, notes. I made a folder on my phone called documentation because I like my red flags organized. I even started recording calls with Ethan not to trap him, just so I couldn't be talked in circles and then told I misunderstood. Then Ethan cracked. 6 weeks before the wedding, we were discussing seating charts and he said, "Maybe you could just put 2 or 3 condos into a joint account. She'd relax and we could move forward." 2 or 3 like I was offering up spare change. I didn't argue, I just listened. That night, I replayed the call and felt this clean, quiet certainty. I asked my grandfather's trust attorney to come to the wedding. He sat in the 3rd row, watching. The venue was gorgeous, 200 guests, white chairs, flower, arch. I'd paid my half of the deposits and walked that aisle at rehearsal like it meant something. I took Ethan's hands and tried to believe we were past the drama. Then Linda stood up, walked down the aisle, and held out her hand. The officiant froze, then gave her the microphone. She turned to me and said, "If you don't sign over your inheritance rights to those 10 condos, this wedding is canceled." Silence hit like a wall. I looked at Ethan and he didn't stop her. He just whispered, "Maybe we should talk about this privately." That word did it. Privately. Like the issue was the audience, not the demand. I let go of his hands, held mine out to Linda, and waited. She hesitated, then handed me the mic. I faced our guests. "Actually, I have a few things to say too. First, I'm not signing over anything. Not today, not ever." Linda started to speak, so I kept going. Second, I raised my phone. For the past 11 months, I've saved every message and proposal about my inheritance. I looked straight at Ethan, and he told me he supported me keeping it protected. Ethan stepped forward. "Vanessa," I tapped the screen. 6 weeks ago, he suggested I give up 2 or 3 condos to keep the peace. Then I hit play. His voice blasted through the speakers. "Just put 2 or 3 of the condos in a joint account. She'd relax and we could all move forward." The crowd didn't yell. It shifted. Linda snapped, "You are humiliating this family." I said, "No, you tried to humiliate me because you thought I'd fold." I stared at her. "You miscalculated." Third announcement, "This wedding is canceled." Ethan reached for me and said, "We can fix this. Please." I looked at his hand and said quietly, "You knew she might do this." He didn't deny it. I turned to the guests. "Dinner's paid for. Please stay and enjoy the night. This isn't on you." Then my attorney stood up from the 3rd row and said, calm as ice, "For the record, that trust was designed to protect her from exactly this." Linda's face emptied. Afterward, my lawyer sent her a formal letter. No more contact about the trust, period. And when she tried once anyway, I forwarded it and that was it. Ethan sent apology after apology, but I didn't reply. He'd heard his own voice on my wedding speakers, and he could live with it. The condos stayed in the trust, fully rented, quietly doing what my grandpa built them to do. And I didn't marry a man who thought keeping the peace meant handing me over. What would you have done if your future in-laws pulled that at the altar?